Construction is nearing completion on Northern Light Health's new pharmacy on State Street in Bangor. The new facility at 374 State Street is slated to open Wednesday, May 21st. Northern Light Health says their current location at 210 State Street has served them well over the years, but needed some updates. The new modern facility located across from Northern Light Eastern Maine Medical Center will help them better serve their customers. Staff says they wanted to create a facility that will carry them forward for many years.
It's a bright new facility with a lot to offer. There's dedicated space to talk with your pharmacist that's private and is in more of a consultative exam room format. So it's something unique that we can offer there, as well as the convenient drive-through that will continue on. It's right across from Eastern Maine Medical Center, really convenient location. It'll have good parking. So I think it will be an upgrade from what our patients are used to seeing when they come into our pharmacy. And we're really excited for people to come in and check it out.
The pharmacy on State Street is Northern Light's busiest pharmacy location, serving more than 60,000 patients last year. We're told it fills 45% of Northern Light's prescriptions. The new pharmacy will also be open 7 days a week. Today is May Day, a traditional celebration of flowers and warmer weather. On many ancient calendars, May 1st welcomed the first day of summer and was a cause for celebration. The summer solstice, the official start of the season, isn't actually until June 20th. But in many parts of the U.S., daffodils and other flowers are already in bloom as April showers have brought May flowers. In English tradition, the holiday is observed by crowning a May queen and dancing around a maypole. Many Americans observe the date by planting flowers or delivering a basket of flower bulbs to friends and neighbors.